Yo, 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 what's going on? It's another episode of the Culture Controversial Podcast. I'm your host, Simply Nicholas87, and my co host, Ty H.
Good evening, folks. It's good to be back. A long time no see.
Oh, yeah, we've been gone for a minute, but we back. Appreciate everybody that's been subscribing up to the channel. Appreciate everybody that's hitting the like button, sharing the videos out, man. We really appreciate it. Yeah, with that being said, man, we got a special one tonight. Um, got a couple special people in the building tonight. I hope y'all ready for a good show. Ty.
And without further ado, I have the great honor of presenting to you second year Anson Senior High School head football coach, Coach Landon Allen.
All right.
Thank you guys. Appreciate y'all having us tonight. We're excited about it, and we appreciate all you guys do for the program and exposing our guys and our players.
Oh yeah, no problem, man.
We know you're busy trying to prepare for the season, so we appreciate you taking a little bit of time out your busy schedule to join us.
Yes,
Oh yeah.
sir. Absolutely. We're excited to talk about ourselves and how hard we've been working. And it's an exciting time of the year, best time of the year for me. I know that.
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
no doubt. Ty, you want to kick it off? I'll let you kick it off first.
Sure thing, Coach. Yeah, you're coming off of your first season as a head coach, going into your sophomore season as a head coach. What I want to know is, in your first year as a head coach, what are some things that you learned as far as what you want to leave in the last year, and things that you did that you thought went well that you want to carry into this year?
Well, to be honest, man, I would say that this year we're kind of a totally different football team. We attacked a totally different identity um, and who we are, and not to say that last year was bad, but it's not what we were trying to accomplish. Being
Hmm.
5-6, and so we're trying to make it a step forward and making some adjustments and doing some things here and there. I don't want to say too much,
Right.
uh,
Don't give them credit away.
but it's been an exciting year. This team has a great team chemistry. They're fun to coach. They love each other. They're great to be around, great to coach. So really excited about it. But just as far as adjustments, from last year, continue to be smarter football players. The adjustment from last year, beat the teams that that everybody thinks that we're not supposed to beat. That's a big goal for this year, and then I would say the biggest thing and something that we've talked about this year is having faceless opponents and when adversity comes, sticking together and being one cat and not letting what other people do face who we are and our identity and what we're trying to bring to Anson County.
All right. My question was, what's the message for this season? So, what has the off-season message been?
The message has been, one cat, and then our defensive message. Titus is showing you right here. Keep chopping is our defensive identity, and that goes into kind of what I've just been talking about. When adversity comes, keep chopping. When we make great plays, keep chopping. When whoever that next opponent is, we chop them down. It doesn't matter. It's a faceless opponent, and we're going into the game, and we do what we do. And like I said, staying together, being one cat, we're all one, knowing that we have to have each other to get to go as far as what we want to go. We're not going to do it alone, and we have a lot of guys that have bought into that mentality. Like I said, they care about each other, they love each other, and at the scrimmage, you really saw that when we busted a touchdown and ended up just one of our JV running backs was in there and ran it, and all the guys were excited for him. They didn't care who it was, and they're just they're bought into we're one cat, we're going to do it together, and that we're only going to go as far as we can go together.
All right.
Yeah, man. It sounds like I wasn't at Scotland County, so I didn't get a chance to see you guys. But from what from what I was told, it seemed like this team has that Bearcat attitude. What I mean by that, kind of like the mentality of the old days, not getting into any strategy, but more of a, you know what? We're going to line up. We're going to beat you at the line of scrimmage. You know what we're going to do, and we're going to dare you to stop it. That's kind of what the mentality it seems like you're trying to enforce that gritty, blue collar, traditional Bearcat style where we line up and we smash people, figuratively speaking. Is that what I'm getting? Am I right in my assessment?
Yes, sir. I would say so. We like smash mouth football. We bought in. We like hitting people, and like you said, we're going to line up and we're going to do what we do, and it's your job to try to stop us.
Now, I love Coach. I'm hearing a level of confidence in your tone of voice. It sounds like, and I know you're going to be modest, but it sounds like you feel confident you have a good football team.
Well, I would say from the outside in, I think everybody would say that we are quote unquote down, is what they would say, because we did lose so much last year. But I think with what we have, and if the guys will play together like they can, and they'll keep buying into what we do, I think we definitely can shock some people this year.
Yeah, because and I look at it as more of an opportunity to these young men that is there. Like for example, I see Tashawn sitting over there. Tashawn's a wide receiver who actually got some valuable time last year. His father's a good friend of mine, by the way. Got some valuable time last year, and in that playoff game against Brevard, I thought was actually Tashawn's best game. Even though we didn't win that game, he showed signs that he was ready to turn the corner. That game, made some very difficult catches from the slot, made some nice contested catches in that game against Brevard as well, showing that he was ready to take the next step. I say losing a guy like Jaden Little only creates more opportunity for a guy like Deshaun Harris. So I think that I think the guys should look at it like, hey, this is our time to shine. And speaking of, I know you got some guys with you. I'm gonna let you introduce them to the audience.
Yeah, absolutely. So from the far side here, number 11, Titus Mungo. Titus is what I would call our hype man. He's a junior leader. He was our quarterback last year on JV. He's a smash mouth football player. He's a running back, linebacker. Brings a lot of energy to the game, so we're excited about him. Then we got Tashawn Harris here, two-way starter from last year. Also brings a lot of energy to the football game. I promise if you come, you will see him on the field. And, and if you don't, he'll make it known, and he'll do his best so that you can see him. But also a great football player, and has been a really good football player. I'm excited about what he's going to do for us this senior year. Got to play nickel and running back. And then right here we got Jazon McNeil. Jazon's played corner for us for the past 3 years. He's been a corner in JV and varsity, and he's made the move to Rover this year. Really excited about how he's been working in the weight room and what he's going to bring to the team this year.
Right. And that leads me into my next question because it seems like these three young men here, I feel like you brought them here because they bought into what you're trying to implement. Speaking of that, um, how are we looking depth wise, like numbers wise? Did we get? And what I mean by this, did we get good turnout during all season? Are you satisfied with the turnout that you
Yeah, for sure. So right now we have 76 kids total in the program.
got? Okay,
Uh,
I like.
76 kids total. 33 of those guys are varsity players. That's not including some of the other kids that will be A quartering. So a lot of numbers. The numbers are up. Obviously the mid 40s on the JV program. So there's a lot of kids here that are excited about playing, and we're excited they're here, and we're excited to teach them football.
Wonderful, man. Nick, I'll yield to you.
All right, I'm gonna give it to the young men now, so let them
Yeah,
answer some
ask these
questions.
boys some questions.
Yeah, I'm gonna let the young men answer some questions. We're gonna start with Mr. Mongo. Um, how do you feel about the going into the season this year as a leader?
I feel like we just gonna keep chopping. And that's the message. It don't
All
matter
right,
who's up in front of us. We gonna do what we do. We gonna show up and we gonna do what we do.
all right. What about you, Mr. Harris?
I got my boys over anybody. I got a lot of confidence in what we're finna do this year. We're finna do a whole lot of big things. Y'all gonna see what's coming in soon, though. Y'all gonna see.
All right, Mr. McNeil.
How you doing? It's gonna be a big program this year. Like our chemistry, how we play together, it's the best. Like in my opinion, it's the best we looked in a while. We play together. We don't argue, no anything. Coach Allen pushes us a lot. He pushes us hard, and we've been working a lot. I'm ready to shout everybody. I feel like we got a big chance to do a lot of things this year.
Got something to prove.
All right. You got it,
Absolutely.
Tom.
Yeah, gentlemen, I want to, and either one of you three gentlemen can answer this question. Do you feel pressure having lost playmakers like Jaden Little, having lost playmakers like Jazir Griffin, having lost guys like that, having on defense, having lost guys like Gabriel Maxwell and Daquan McKeever, household names that we come to know and love over the last few years? Do you feel pressure having to replace those guys, or do you feel that, hey, let's relish the opportunity?
Nah, it ain't no pressure at all because I know how my boys work. I know how he is. I know we got each other. We all work hard. We all gonna go to the ball. We play as a team. So we don't really worry about individual play. We one cat.
Yeah, I can tell you bought the message. I love the last thing you said. The last thing you said, I think it's going to take you a long way. You said you're not worried about individual things. You're only worried about one cat. Obviously, it sounds like you guys have bought into being a cohesive unit and understand that everything that you do impacts your entire team. So I love that mentality you guys have, and I love how you're buying into what Coach Allen teaching you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they're a good group, man, and for what we do, they know that nobody. If you're on that field, you're in between the lines. You can't take a play off. With how we play, it's you have to bring 100% every single time, and to be successful. And if we can do that, then like these boys said, we play together, and we don't worry about individual success, just about team success. Then, like I said before, I think that we can definitely shock some people.
For sure. I see that y'all got new uniforms this year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Show them off.
Yeah, let's see what y'all got, man. Let me give y'all the big screen.
Show them the back. Show them the back.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Get that clean, huh?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
clean. I like that.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
But really on these jerseys, the one thing I definitely wanted to make sure was known, and that I don't know if this has been on the jerseys before, but I wanted Anson County on there because we talk about one county, one team, one cat, and just how special it is to that we get to not only represent a high school, but we get to represent an entire county. And I try to emphasize this how special that is for these guys. There's not a lot of people that get to do that, and most of the surrounding teams out that way and the teams that we play, multiple high school county teams, and here we get to represent a whole county, and hopefully the county buys into the one cat that we need them, and to come out here and support us, and we're doing our best to make them proud, and not just the way that we present ourselves on the field, but how we present ourselves in the community, in the classroom, and just going out and giving our best, and trying to also serve others, and give back to the elementary school kids, and all the way through up to these guys' age.
Gotcha.
Wonderful, man. I think I can tell this is a group of young men who have good head on their shoulders and have their head straight, and I can tell that they have the correct mindset to be successful. I hear the selflessness in what they're saying, and I can tell this is a reflection of what you've been teaching and what you've been implementing. Um, that leads me to the next thing. I believe a lot of that comes with continuity. Uh, I'm assuming you're bringing back the same staff you had last year: Coach Blackwell, Coach Hyatt, Coach Pons, Coach Harris, some of the same Coach Howell, some of basically the same crew that you had last year.
Correct. Yes, sir. So we do have the same staff that we did last year, with the exception of Coach Goodman.
God
Uh,
rest his soul.
we miss him
Yeah.
every day. And what he did for the program, he was a selfless guy, and kind of what we do now. He represented that in every way. He loved Anson County football. Definitely going to miss him. Another guy we did add on that's going to be helping us out, help coach safeties during the summer, and he's also our quality control guy, Coach Lomax. But did return Coach Hyatt and Coach Blackwell, who are doing offensive. Coach Hyatt does offensive line. Coach Blackwell does, quarterbacks, all the pretty much the skill guys. Have Coach Howard, our defensive coordinator. Coach TJ. He's from Albemarle. He was
Mm.
there uh,
Two-time
in
state
the
champion. I know you.
Oh yeah.
he was there in the heyday of Albemarle. Won some state championships while he was there, so he knows what a winning culture is like, and he's doing a great job at bringing it here. Coach Carr, who again came through a winning culture at Wallace Rose Hill. He coaches our defensive backs. Coach Harris, Tashawn's pops, coaches with us as well. He's doing defensive line along with Coach Terry Pons. Um, and then, Pastor Steve is still our team minister. He'll be coming here next week and giving us a word. So we're looking forward to that. And then Coach Lomax. I don't think I missed anybody.
Lomax, is that Greg Lomax?
No, Josh Lomax. He's actually he's doing some work with Wingate. He's still at school. He played for us a couple years back.
Okay.
But he's helping us as well.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'm glad that you're able to retain your staff because that continuity, and I know you're big on guys you could trust or having a crew you could trust. And I actually liked the staff you had last year, especially I love the intensity of Coach defense coordinator Coach Howard. I love his intensity. I'll never forget one of the moments of last year that stood out to me was when we were playing Pageland Central, and they were kind of figuratively punching us in the mouth at the time, and I was just seeing his intensity, and I was like, he kind of gives me that old guy that used to be defense coordinator years ago, Sean Kreger, is kind of that old school intensity. So I love seeing that. One other thing I noticed since you've taken over, I can tell that you put emphasis on being smarter because last season we were not penalized nearly as much as we had been over the previous decade. So I can tell that you put heavy emphasis on being cleaner. As
Mm.
Though I didn't see many situations where we got unsportsmanlike conduct or anything like that. So it also lets me know that there's an emphasis on being smarter as well. Now that we're in year two, do you think that's just become a natural habit now that this is who we are? That is not something that you have to beat into anyone's head as much now because it's just become a natural part of our culture. You feel like we're at that point.
No, I wouldn't say that it's completely gone. I think we still have to remind ourselves to be smart. But I would definitely say that as far as just football IQ and and just kind of staying calm. Hopefully continuing into this season will be something that we get a little bit better than what we were at last year. Like you said, we really didn't hurt ourselves much penalty wise last year, and it's something that we're going to have to continue to do this year to be successful. And so I wouldn't say no that it's something that we won't do, but I do think that in a way, yes, it is a little bit more natural for them to play a little bit smarter. But like I said, it's definitely something we have to remind ourselves. Football's a aggressive game, and things happen in the heat of the moment, and so you just got to continue to that I can't be out there on the field with them, so that's why I try to enforce into them and instill into them hold each other accountable, get each other away from situations, and so then, and they bought into doing that.
Yeah, and this is a question that's always because I never played it down. So this is a question that I used to that always made me ponder. Like as you alluded to, the game is an aggressive game, and it's a game where emotion sometimes is necessary in order to push forward. But at the same time, uncontrolled emotion can cause problems. How do you preach that message? Like, hey, let's be intense, but how do we balance and control that intensity? I'm just asking this as a fan, not as a, how, like for any coach out there. Like, where's the line, and how do you draw that line and say, hey, I want you to be emotional, but hey, let's not be too emotional at the wrong time. How do you balance that?
Uh, so I guess in a good situation, when something great happens, I always I'll see if these guys answer. So when we do something great, what do we want to do? When we do something great, what do we want to do? What are we coached to do? What are we supposed to do?
Like we've been before, yes.
Like we've been there before, like we've done it. And then I also tell them don't celebrate by yourselves, but celebrate together, right? But as far as in the heat of the moment, when somebody makes you upset, like I said, we instill in them. The second guy always gets caught.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You can say, this guy did this to me, this guy did this to me. I'm always going to tell them I don't care, and they know that doesn't mean that I don't care, that guy did that to them, because I do care about them and I have their back and they have my back. But they know that, we no matter what happens, we can't let our emotions take the best of us. It's football, it's life, and we have to. We have to think about that and think about the betterment of our teammates. And just like one day, these young men are going to be, husbands and fathers, and they're going to have to do things for the betterment of their families, and not, react under first reaction, but to, sit back and hopefully at that point too, that they have people to help mentor them, brothers to help mentor them. Like I said, to help each other accountable on the field.
100%, coach. Nick.
Oh, my question is, I know we're 2 weeks away from the season opener. I know we're on the road to kick the season off. Um, has the intensity in practice changed up leading up to the next 2 weeks coming in?
I let these guys answer.
Right, to get real intent, man. We all compete, we all want to do the same thing, so we just try to make each other better by going hard. We don't take no break, man. Iron sharpens iron. Yeah.
You good, Tyler? Okay.
All right.
Yeah, no. So, anyways, I'll harp on what Titus said. Iron sharpens iron. We talked about Southern Fab is one of our big sponsors this year, and you'll see their logo on the 50-yard line. But on their logo it says Proverbs 27:17. It's iron sharpens iron, as man sharpens another. And that's what we talked about that the other day at practice. That's what we're here to do, and they've definitely been competing against one another and loving one another and trying to make each other better. And so yeah, they're like I said, they're bought in.
Yeah.
Okay. So your first opponent this year, I don't have a schedule actually with, but I know we're kicking the season off at Red Springs. Could you tell us, did you know anything really much about Red Springs? I know I recently hadn't seen them play or anything like that, but could you tell
Yeah.
us?
So I know some stuff on Red Springs. Yeah. So I would say that this year they have a really good chance to shock some people. They've got some really good athletes. They're big up front. They've got a quarterback that can sling the ball. They did lose their leading rusher, but however, they do return their leading receiver. Is an Ellerby guy who during the summer got an offer from UNC Pembroke. So he's a really good guy that they're not sure going to try to get the football to. And like I said, they've got some big guys up front and quarterback that can get in the ball. And so I think that they're going to be, I think, they probably only lost a handful of seniors last year. So I think they're going to be a good football team and a good challenge week one.
Okay.
I guess we're gonna have to match their physicality. It
Yeah.
sounds like a big physical football team from how you described.
That's our physical.
Like I said, and if we do figuratively get punched in the mouth, and I mean that figuratively, then we got to answer the count. And when they make plays, we got to turn around and make plays too, and punch, counter punch. So
100. And like I said, and that's the big thing leading into this year is that I'm curious to what these guys do when adversity comes, and they saw it. These guys that were they were on the sidelines at Brevard, and you guys were there, and they saw us go into that game, and at halftime we had them.
13
They
it was
come
13
out
at halftime.
play, and one guy, misses on the screen, and they go down and they score, and it was like the whole team gave up and started yelling at each other, and these guys saw that, and it was it kind of all unraveled at once, just bam, bam, bam. it wasn't a football game anymore. But they saw that, and so I just hope that they remember that going into this season, that one play doesn't make who we are. We can battle back from adversity.
True. One bad call doesn't make us who we are either. I always hope the guys understand when it comes to the calls. So sometimes when we calls in our favor, sometimes we're not. And I know, and I hope they know that, coach, you got their back and will handle that part. Sometimes I think, and I'm not talking about last year. I'm just talking about in general. I think sometimes young men can get discouraged when things are not going the way they were hoped for it to go, and just lose all hope. But sometimes even in life, things can kind of start going against you, but you have to stay the course. That's even whether it's on the job, that's whether Nick, you're in Coach Allen, you're married, man, whether it's in your marriage or whatever component of life it is. Sometimes you're going to get a series of events that don't go your way, and you can't just fold just because a series of events haven't gone your way. You either you have to show some resiliency, and I think what disappointed me last year is anytime that our backs were against the wall, we just kind of went through the wall. And that bothered me a little bit because I always said this with last year's team, and I know it's a new year, but I'm using this as an example. Last year's team did not have a shortage of talent. It seemed like we had a shortage of resiliency. At least that's how I look from the stands. And if I'm wrong, I'll happily accept it.
No, you're definitely correct. We had a lot of talent last year. We definitely had a lot of talent in there, and those senior class, they were a good group of guys and a lot of really good athletes. And I talked to a lot of them pretty much every week. And some of them are excelling at the next level, and super proud of them for going and doing that. But they'll tell you that that they wish that they could come back and realize that under those times that when the heat hit them or when the adversity came, that they wish that they just wouldn't argue with each other and just kept playing football, because they know that you know we're playing against a team in the other colored jersey. We can't argue with one another. We already got enough enemies.
Right.
Right. And I agree. And I think though, because I saw Kendrick maybe a couple months ago. And by the way, wonderful young man who I'm proud of. Guys, he's in the ministry now. For young men to be in the ministry at that young of an age, I think that's remarkable. Shout out to his grandparents for instilling those core values in him. But I talked to Kendrick a couple months ago, and I think the sentiment he has is similar to your sentiment. I think is um, it's a lot of ifs that we wish we could have back. But like you said, these young men here, like you said, they witnessed that. Hopefully, they were absorbing everything that took place and could remember that and be like, "Hey, not this time." Like, because these guys, they have an opportunity to do something real special. I hope this gentleman listened to me. Um, uh, Probably before you were born, when you were very young, Anson County football used to be a powerhouse program, and the have is to bring Anson County back to that level. I was like, how beautiful would it be in the history books for your names and your group to be the ones that put the program back on the map? Like, that's the opportunity you have. You have the opportunity to say that, hey, this program was once a powerhouse, and then it went through struggles, and then under our watch, with our group, we were the ones that were able to restore the pride of the program. You have that opportunity to do that and forever embed your names in the history books of Anson County football. I look at it as like, hey, this is something to be excited about. There are a lot of people who don't think that we can. There are a lot of people who don't think that we will. There are a lot of people who think that we're the same old Anson County from the last 10 years and that the days of Anson being a good program are long gone. You have the opportunity to reset the history book. You have the opportunity to hit the reset button and say, no, the program is going back the opposite way. This year is a pivotal year because I always tell people this: you either get better or you get worse. You rarely stay the same. So you either have the opportunity to be worse than last year's group or an opportunity to be better than last year's group. And you have an opportunity to set yourself aside from any other group. I'm about to say, we haven't had a winning season since 2019, and we haven't won a playoff game since 2013. You guys have the opportunity to change all that and restore the tradition. And I hope that you're excited about that, and I hope you relish that opportunity.
Sure. We're really excited, man. I feel like I feel like we finna go for. I told my boys last year after the Aurora game that we was gonna have a home playoff game, and I stand on that. So this year we're gonna have us a home playoff game. And I expect to see out there too, though.
I believe it, and I know you
Yep.
believe it.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
Yeah,
I wanted to ask you about, since I talked to you during the off season, early in the off season, and at the time the whole new realignment wasn't finalized yet. I think when I came to your office that day.
Right.
Um, so tell me about the new realignment for the people that don't know out there.
yeah,
So the North Carolina High School Athletic Association this year has went to an 8 classification system. So basically, the biggest schools are 8A, the smallest schools are 1A. Um, as opposed to 4A through 1A. So there'll now be 8 state champions. So it's kind of like the days of old when you had a 1A, 1AA, 2A, 2AA, all the way through. Um,
Hmm.
but now they're just 1, 2, 3, all the way to 8. So we were a 2A in a 4A classification. Now we're a 4A in an 8A classification. Um, with that being said, we're in a 4A, 5A split. The 5A schools are Monroe, Forest Hills, Parkwood, and then the 4A schools in our conference are Anson County, Mount Pleasant, West Stanley, and Cata, which, Cata don't have a football team right now, but so
Hmm.
we'll have those 6 teams in our conference for football.
Okay.
and speaking of that, and I was getting a little confused reading some of this, but and I know this doesn't matter and how you prepare, but I was reading where conference championships don't guarantee seating preference anymore. Am I correct in that, or did I misunderstand that?
Yes, you are correct on that. So it's totally off of RPI. So that basically means it's 40% of your winning percentage, 40% of your opponent's winning percentage, and 20% of your opponent's opponent winning percentage. That basically ranks you into a what you would call, I guess, at the college level, a strength of schedule.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
so which basically seeds you. So yeah, it doesn't matter what you finish in your conference, only just strictly your RPI, and they'll take the top 48 teams in that RPI system. They'll put them in the playoffs, um, and we'll go play.
And out of the 8 classifications in class 4 of 8, how many overall programs is it like? Because I know it used to be roughly around 90 programs in a four classification system. How many programs are in the because I know 8A has the few 8A and 1A have the fewest amount of piece, but how many are in class 4?
Around 60. So you can't have any more than 64
Okay,
in classification. It used to be an average of 122, and the
okay,
other one now there's 64 is the max. And then like you said, in A-Day there's only 32.
yeah.
Hmm.
So what it takes. So out of the 64 teams, the 48 qualifiers based on the RPI would be who would advance to go to the postseason.
Correct.
Okay. So
And
so
uh, and with that being said, the top 16 teams, so 8 from the East, 8 from the West, the top 8 teams get first round bye in the playoffs.
okay.
Okay.
So the way this is, to me, it makes it where it's almost essentially where every game is a conference game because every game has playoff implications now.
Cases.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, every game. It doesn't matter. Every game's a
Right. So that also leads me to another point is that we have to make a strong effort to not get off to a slow start. I know last year and the year before when you were defense coordinator, it took it's like we found our rhythm, but it was always a few weeks into the season. But this year, especially the way the system is now, some unfortunate bounce of the ball early in the season can be really consequential. So what's the message as far as getting off to a faster start than we had the last couple of years?
it's kind of just keep doing what we're doing. Like I said, we changed a lot of things up. I changed the non-conference schedule. Basically out of the 10 teams that we played last year, we're only playing 4 of those teams this year. I wanted a totally different schedule so that we can create a totally different identity, so that we can you know try to make the culture better, bring back the culture of winning. expecting to win, knowing how to win. So I tried to essentially change up everything uh,
Right.
as
Mm.
far as the non-conference schedule goes, and playing different teams and playing teams that we probably some of the teams I don't know if Hanson County's ever played before. I know that we've played South Stanley in the past. Um, we've played Montgomery Central, but I don't know if we've ever played Pender before. I don't know if we've ever played Hunter Huss. I don't know if we've ever played Red Springs.
And
Um,
Anson and Hunter Hurst used to play a lot in basketball back in the day, but I don't know if they played in
I
football. If they
don't
had,
think
it
they
was
ever
a
played the
long time ago.
football. Yeah.
right.
But at one point, I'm sorry, Coach. Go ahead. I apologize.
No, so like I said, we tried to make everything different so that these guys can make their own mark. Um,
Right.
Right.
you
I
know,
do want to. Oh, sorry.
and so anyways, go ahead. We're looking forward to it. Everything's different, and there's a lot of excitement happening in the High School Athletic Association. A lot of excitement here in Anson County, and like I said, I'm looking forward to these guys making their own mark, and I hope that the people in the community come out and support them.
I agree. And one thing I want to expound on what you said because I want to make sure that nobody confuses it because I noticed when you said you wanted to change the non-conference schedules uh, so we can it could be a different coach and all that. I want people to understand the new non-conference schedule still consists of quality opponents. So I want to make it clear that just because he changed the opponents does not mean that he changed the level of competition. He just changed the names on the front of the jerseys.
Right.
Those I want to make clear that because I know you and I know that you love to compete. I want to make it known that yes, he changed the schedule, but he did not sacrifice the quality. I just wanted to put that out there myself.
No, like I said, Red Springs and Montgomery Central, I both think have a good chance to be really, really good football teams and have a pivotal season. South Stanley is one of the top ranked 2A football teams in the state. They have the number one 2A quarterback in the state. Hunter Huss is a 5A program and probably one of arguably one of the strongest conferences in the state with Kings Mountain, Crest, and all of them. So they play an extremely hard schedule. And then Pender is a team that goes to the third, fourth round of the playoffs every year. They were 10-4 football team last year. It was a really quality 3A opponent. So, I feel like it's going to get us ready for conference. And we do have, we open up the conference with the two 4A teams, being West Stanley, Mount Pleasant. Then we play Monroe, Forest Hills, Parkwood are all 5A schools in our conference. And like I said, no, there is no week. Like you said, every game matters.
Right.
There is no week that we can go in and just think that the team's going to lay down. We're going to have to earn every victory that we go into.
I'm excited to see the challenge, and I'm excited to see how these young men relish that challenge, man. I believe in them, and I know that you believe in them too. I want to make sure that, and I get the sense they also believe in themselves.
Yes, sir.
Always,
Always.
always be confident in your skill, man.
Now I love it, Nick. I'm putting it back in your hands.
All
Um,
right.
hey
Uh,
fellas, I want to say though we have a scrimmage tomorrow, so I don't have to go to bed early, but I would like for these young men to get in the bed at a decent time. So
okay.
say if you have any questions for them, let's ask them, and then I'm gonna let them go so that they can get in the bed so they can get ready for the scrimmage tomorrow.
Great
Absolutely. Let's
turn.
do it. Nick, go ahead.
All right. I'm trying to think of a good question because all y'all answer y'all questions pretty good, so it ain't like a I don't know type thing. So um, I just ask you this question: what's y'all goals for the season? Each
That's,
one of you.
that's a good one.
My biggest goal is to make more than we did last year. And I want to get deeper in the playoffs than we ever did. I want to make a mark my senior year. Feel me? Like, just the class that I've been with since 8th grade, 6th grade, we all been together. We always play together. And I want to go out with a bang with them. I
All
want to
right.
make a mark on Hanson that we ain't had in a long time.
Okay.
I
All
ask
Sean,
right.
same question to you.
Hmm.
Sir?
To Sean, I think.
Oh,
Uh,
Yes,
okay.
same question to you.
my goal is to win us a ring. I want us to go far because it's a great group, special group. We all want the same goal. I just want us to do it as a team, together.
All right.
I say my goal is one of these right here. I can't really, I ain't gonna lie. But I just ain't gonna lie. I love football. I ain't gonna lie.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't a thing wrong with it.
Yeah, and I love that last. I love all the answers, but I definitely love that last answer. I love the big aspirations, the aspirations to get to the mountaintop. That's what I want to see that because if you don't believe it, you can't expect anyone else to. So I love that.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you, gentlemen, taking the time to join your coach and come speak with us. And hey, good luck tomorrow, and I pray that you come. Everybody ends up healthy, healthy
Hmm.
going into the season, and healthy throughout the season, not only for the team's sake, but for your own individual and personal sake.
Sure.
Same here.
All right.
All
One more last
right.
man. Keep chopping. Keep chopping.
There
Yes,
you go.
sir.
Keep chopping.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate y'all for coming on the show, man.
Appreciate y'all, fellas. Y'all be safe going home.
And coach, I appreciate you letting them come on and talk to us a little bit, man.
Yeah,
It was good
I'm
to get that
glad.
interaction with the guys, man. It was refreshing just to hear those young men and those and you could tell that they're a cohesive unit. That's what I love about them.
Oh yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. They're in there. They're in there. Hey, Titus, do I need to take you home? If I need to take you home, just hang out and I'll take you home. Okay.
And coach, if you do need to take them home, we're not gonna hold you too much
Yeah,
longer.
we
We'll
go.
Okay.
Yeah, we gonna hold you
we'll,
too
we'll
much
be
longer.
considerate.
Okay. Yes, sir. See y'all. Be safe.
All right, Ty, you got it. I'm let you ask another question.
All right, coach. What do you? I'm gonna ask you something more of a you question, coach.
Yes, sir.
What do you learn about yourself as first year as a head coach? Or what do you learn about Landon Allen that you didn't know when you were a defense coordinator?
Uh, I don't know if I wouldn't say that. Let's see. Okay. All right. Love you too. Um, I honestly don't know if I can say anything that I didn't know about myself.
Okay.
Um, I did learn, obvious lessons. Some things don't work always as planned, and you have to be able to make adjustments. Um,
Mm.
and that's life. Uh, that's also the game of football. Um, but I would say that I'm a person that kind of just keeps digging. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to come in here every day and try to be the hardest worker. But I would say that I surrounded myself by good people. My coaching staff, I feel is, I truly love those guys, and I can sit here and tell you right now that all those guys, they're great people to be around. They inspire me as a head coach, and I hope I can inspire them just as much being on the staff. Um, so I would say that prayer works as far as praying that God puts you in the right position to be around the right people. I'm blessed. My family supports me. My wife is awesome. I'm here with the guys a lot, obviously, so I spend some time away from my family, and she's always supported me. Love her, and just can't thank her enough for how much she does for our family. And so, anyways, I guess with all that being said, make adjustments, pray, and keep fighting the good fight.
Keep chopping.
Keep
That's right.
chopping. Say keep chopping.
Yes, sir.
And
You gonna see
that
that games this year for sure.
yeah,
I'm
hey, it's
ready
gonna
for it,
catch
man.
them.
I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Yes, sir.
I think you're being a little modest. Because I can hear it in your voice. I think you know you got a good football team. You're just not gonna give anybody bulletin board material.
No, I mean, really, these guys, they're just good human beings. They're good people, and they're fun to coach. And um, like I said, I would say from the outside in, people probably think that we would be down this year with like what you said. We lost Jazeer, Chubby, McKeever, Gabriel,
Kendrick,
Aiden,
I forgot to
Buddy.
mention Kendrick earlier, but Kendrick.
I can keep on going. Cam Little, I mean, all those guys, they're great athletes. I told you last year they were great athletes. They're great football players.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, we're gonna miss them. We are gonna miss them, but you know, next man up, and these guys have bought into the culture and what we're trying to preach and what we're trying to do, and I'm excited to see them execute the plan. And like I said, I'm most excited about seeing them go through adversity. I would say, and finding a way to fight through it, and taking that into the real world.
Gotcha. One more personnel question I'm going to ask you. I want to talk about the general on the field. We hadn't talked about him at all, man. What are you
Right.
seeing, Doc Hyatt, man? He's going into a senior year. I thought he had a solid year as a junior. Are you liking what you're seeing out of him, and you feel like he's ready to take this thing by the helm and lead these men on the field?
Oh, 100%. Doc is a selfless football player, man. You know, he's a selfless football player and puts the team before himself. And, um, you know, he plays hard. He works hard in the weight room. He does what he's supposed to in the classroom. He's a good Christian young man. You know, he does the right things, practices hard, probably harder on himself than I am, to be honest with you, and then the coaches. So he expects a certain brand that he puts off, and he's doing a great job at leading the ship. He's the captain of that offense, and he's doing a great job doing that.
That's what I wanted to hear. Nick, I'll turn it
Yeah.
back to you.
Yeah, like I said, I could tell with the three young men that you had behind you, those guys, they gonna buy in. You can just hear it in their voices that they are locked in, ready for whatever, and I think they ready to strike adversity head on.
They're good.
Now,
They're good.
I want to
I could have.
piggyback off.
I
Oh, I'm
could have.
sorry, coach.
I could have asked 30 more to come in here. You know, I hate that I couldn't get them all on this camera, to be honest with you. I wish I could get them all in here. Some of them are camera shy, didn't want to come in. So, but yeah, they're all good boys, man. All good boys.
And piggyback off of that, with that kind of energy and attitude, and I know all players don't have that quite high of energy, but they are there.
Mm-hmm.
Those three guys push no matter what position it is, offense, defense, special teams. Do those guys embrace like team? You know, do they push the team even if they're not the guy with the voice or the guy that's with the high level of energy?
Right. Yeah, we have a lot of different. We have a lot of different. You know, uh, I
Different
guess
personalities and stuff.
personalities on the team.
Yeah.
100%. These three here, they like to talk. Uh, so which is why they asked they said that they would come in. But they're good boys. Though we definitely have more leaders than these guys. You know, in this locker room too. And like I said, there's a lot of them that I could bring in here. And there's leaders on the offensive line. There's leaders in the backfield. There's leaders on the defensive backfield, the defensive line, the linebackers. You know, there's a lot of really good football players that have bought in, and I'm excited to see what they can do.
Wonderful, man. And
Yeah.
I will be at Red Springs. I can't guarantee I'll be at Pinecrest tomorrow, but
Yeah, no,
it's
no,
Yeah.
that's good, man, and I'm excited about our scrimmage last week. We scrimmaged at East Bladen, Westover, in Scotland.
Hmm.
Did some good things. Not gonna say that I'm 100% happy with what we did. Now we we got to work on some ball security. We got to work on, some just simple assignment stuff. So we weren't perfect. There's, things that we've been nitpicking on film to get better and, say, well, you see this, you were successful here, but against, somebody else, you may not have been successful there against, just some of the competition in our conference. We play really good football teams. Um, with that being said, but I saw some good things that we can carry over into the season.
Okay. I mean, like I said, I see promising things. Like I said, I mean, you talked before, before even think anything got, set in stone, way before the off season workouts. And everything I heard sounded real good. So that's why I said you know, I kept that under wraps, and we talked. So that
Right.
was yeah.
Yes, but like I tell these boys, everybody right now is excited. Everybody
Mm.
wants it. Everybody's been working. You
And that's
know,
Coach Harris. He said, "What time is y'all scrimmage tomorrow?"
Yeah.
tomorrow we scrimmage at 7.
7
Okay.
p.m. and location at Pinecrest in Southern Pines, right?
Yeah, Pinecrest versus Northmore.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but like I said, everybody's been working. Everybody's excited right now. Everybody has high hopes. The difference is when we line up and it's me versus you, who's going to win? Who's got that dog in them, and who's going to bring it to? Who's going to bring it, and who's going to win and do what it takes to win.
And I love that faceless opponent mentality because it
Hmm.
because it kind of pushes the process of we're not worried about the name on front of the jersey. It's just you're the man that's in front of me.
Right,
Right.
and that's what we're going to have to do to be successful. But
I
like I said, I'm excited about seeing us go through the adversity because I want to see us go through the adversity and succeed through it, and then I'll be even more excited than I am right now.
Got to rise up.
That's
have
right.
understood. But Coach, we ain't gonna hold you long, man. We appreciate you for coming on the show, bringing those guys on the show as well. We appreciate them for coming up there. Is there anything you want to tell us? Just any message you want to give us?
No, I'd like to say just thank you to all of our supporters. Thank you to our principal, Mr. Stinson. Thank you to our athletic directors, Luke Hyatt and Dylan Blackwell. Those guys put in. I can't even explain to you how much time those guys put in for the betterment of this program and the betterment of these kids. And they do a lot of things behind the scenes so that our kids can have the things that other schools have and try to get them the things that they deserve. Um, like I said, all our sponsors. We had a great golf tournament this year. We're running a snap race fundraiser right now because, like I said, football raises money, but football is expensive to play.
Yep.
So we're working on a fundraiser right now so that I told these guys I want to get them all the nice things and you know get them nice food and snacks and things that they can have here right before they left. And I don't want them to go hungry, and I want to get them charter buses when we need those, and do all the nice things for them so that their experience in high school is as best as it can be. um, but yeah, like I said, list goes on. Family, friends, coaches. Couldn't do it without any of them.
Absolutely. All right. Well, the guys, that's it. Appreciate you for coming on. And Ty, you got anything you wanted to add to that?
For me,
Yeah.
no, I just say, Coach, I appreciate you coming through, man.
Oh.
And I appreciate the effort, and I can tell that you really care about those young men, and I can tell that the the progress that we've made, even though it may have not reflected in the record, the little things like the cleaner things, the smarter things. I saw it last year, and I look forward to seeing how it carries over into this year. And I really have strong expectations, and I'm optimistic, cautiously optimistic, but optimistic and
Well,
excited to see what you guys bring this year.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm excited, and it's here. It's upon us, fellas. So
Oh
it'll
yeah.
be here before we know it.
We'll
Absolutely,
be we'll be
Coach.
there.
I ain't gonna hold you up because I know I want you to get some rest too.
Rest too. Yeah.
Yeah. So well,
We got to drive back to Oakboro or
tomorrow,
something.
tomorrow at the scrimmage, there's going to be a lot of guys that get an opportunity to show us what they got. Some of the younger cats and some of the guys that didn't get to play as much in the last scrimmage. So I'm excited about seeing those guys getting out there and competing, and just pray that we come out of this scrimmage healthy.
Yes, sir. I
Yeah.
will do.
And
Absolutely.
Coach Harris says you got my contact info. Just hit him up.
Okay, I will.
All right. But yeah, I appreciate everybody for coming through. We up out here, another great episode. And we will be doing the recap of the season as we always do. So yeah, I don't want to miss that. And Coach, we appreciate you again for even taking the time. I know it's busy right now. I understand it's busy because
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well,
it's
like I said, I appreciate you guys for what you do. Like I said, when I asked these guys if they wanted to be on the podcast, they knew exactly what I was talking about. They watch it, they're excited about it. I want, like I told Coach Hyde earlier, I want people to talk about them. I want them to get excited about what So I appreciate you guys and for advocating for them.
all right.
Absolutely.
No problem,
Yes,
man. Anytime. But
yes, sir.
y'all, we up out of here, man. We'll catch y'all on the next one.
Take
Yes,
care.
sir. Thank you, guys.
You're
Hmm.
welcome.